Right now, as you're watching this video, something unprecedented is happening that could change America forever. While you are going about your daily life, sleeping, working, spending time with family, a series of events has been set in motion that will impact every single American in ways most people can't even imagine. What if I told you that the very foundations of your daily life, your job, your savings, even the food on your table, are under an accelerating threat from forces you're barely aware of? This isn't just about rising prices or political squabbles. This is about a tectonic shift in global power, a silent war being waged on multiple fronts that could shatter the prosperity you take for granted. We're talking about a future where your dollar buys significantly less, where supply chains collapse, and where the security of your nation is challenged like never before. The mainstream media won't give you the full, unvarnished truth. Not like this. They won't connect the dots in a way that reveals the true urgency of our situation. But here's the twist. What I'm about to tell you will change everything you thought you knew about America's place in the world and what's coming next for your family. The clock is ticking, and the window to prepare is shrinking with every passing moment. You need to know this. For decades, the United States has enjoyed an unparalleled position on the global stage, a Pax Americana built on economic dominance, military might, and a complex web of alliances. After the Cold War, many believed that history had ended, that liberal democracy and free markets were the undeniable future. But that era is over. It's not just fading, it's collapsing. Under the weight of surging geopolitical rivalries, unprecedented technological advancements, and the weaponization of everything from finance to information, we are witnessing the most rapid redistribution of global power in a century, perhaps even longer. Consider this. In 2000, China's GDP was less than 12% of the US. Today, it's over 70%, and by some metrics, it has already surpassed us in purchasing power parity. This isn't just a number, it's a shift in gravity. We're seeing the emergence of a multipolar world where old rules are discarded and new, dangerous ones are being written. Expert analyses, some of which were only recently declassified or leaked from high-level intelligence briefings, paint a stark picture. The global system is more fragile than at any point since the 1930s. Interconnectedness, once seen as a strength, has become a critical vulnerability. One domino falls, and the ripple effect reaches every single corner of the globe, directly into your home, your wallet, your future. We are facing not just one crisis, but a convergence of crises, each feeding into the next, creating a cascade that could redefine what it means to be an American in the 21st century. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a stark, unvarnished reality check based on concrete facts, dates, and figures that few are willing to openly discuss. This matters to you because your retirement savings, your job security, the cost of your groceries, even your personal freedoms are directly tied to these escalating global tensions. Let's break down the 10 critical flashpoints that are converging to shape this terrifying new reality and what they mean for you. First, the escalating global supply chain collapse. Imagine this: critical shipping lanes, the arteries of global commerce, are becoming choke points, not just because of natural disasters, but due to deliberate geopolitical maneuvering and regional conflicts. We've seen glimpses of this with the Suez Canal blockage or the semiconductor shortages, but experts warn this is just the beginning. A recent confidential report, reportedly circulated among top defense contractors, indicates that a sustained disruption in the Indo-Pacific involving the South China Sea could halt 60% of global maritime trade and cripple key U.S. industries dependent on Asian components. The concrete consequence for Americans? Empty shelves, prolonged wait times for everything from new cars to medical equipment, and an average 30% price hike on imported electronics within 6 months. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a fundamental shock to the system. Think about it. Your local auto repair shop could run out of parts for weeks. Major appliance deliveries could stretch to a year. This will directly impact over 5 million jobs in retail, logistics, and manufacturing, leading to widespread layoffs and business failures, pushing the U.S. unemployment rate up by an additional 1 to 2 points. Next, the undeniable threat of cyber warfare escalation. We're not talking about isolated hacks anymore. This is state-sponsored, coordinated attacks designed to cripple critical infrastructure. Intelligence briefings, some leaked even last year, outlined scenarios where a sophisticated adversary could launch a simultaneous attack, targeting the U.S. power grid, financial networks, and communication systems. The timeline for impact? Immediate. Within hours of such an attack, large swathes of the East Coast or Midwest could face multi-day blackouts. What does this mean for you? Your ATM might not work, your credit cards could be declined, businesses would grind to a halt. Estimates from cybersecurity firms suggest the economic damage from a major, sustained cyber attack could exceed $500 billion within the first month, impacting every sector from healthcare to transportation. Imagine waking up and your bank account is inaccessible, your cell phone network is down, and the nearest gas station can't pump fuel. That's the personal relevance. It's not just a digital threat, it's a direct threat to your ability to function in modern society. Third, the impending data commodity price shock on a catastrophic scale. Global energy markets are already volatile, but a major conflict or destabilization in the Middle East, particularly involving key oil choke points, could send prices spiraling into the stratosphere. Simultaneously, climate change and escalating geopolitical tensions are impacting global food production. Experts from the World Bank recently warned that a combination of these factors could push crude oil prices to $150 a barrel by late 2024, leading to gas prices of $10–12 a gallon across the U.S. But it's not just gas. Basic food staples, grains, cooking oils could see price increases of 40–50% within a year, driven by export bans and harvest failures in critical regions like Eastern Europe and parts of Africa. The numbers don't lie. This would crush household budgets, particularly for low-income families, pushing millions into food insecurity and accelerating inflation to double-digit figures not seen since the 1970s. Imagine your weekly grocery bill doubling overnight, making healthy food a luxury and forcing impossible choices for millions of Americans. Fourth, the accelerating trend of de-dollarization and currency instability. For decades, the U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency, giving America immense economic power. But major trading blocs, particularly those involving China, Russia, and the BRICS nations, are actively working to bypass the dollar in international trade. Leaked internal documents from an unnamed European central bank reveal growing anxiety about a coordinated push to adopt alternative settlement systems for global commodities. What happens next? A significant weakening of the dollar's value, potentially a 20–25% depreciation against other major currencies within 2 years. This means everything you import, from clothing to electronics to cars, becomes significantly more expensive. Your purchasing power erodes. It also makes servicing America's colossal national debt, currently exceeding $34 trillion, vastly more difficult. potentially leading to increased taxes or further cuts in public services. This directly hits your wallet. Your foreign travel becomes prohibitively expensive, and the cost of imported medicines could skyrocket, impacting your health care. Fifth, the intensified strategic resource depletion and competition. We depend on rare earth minerals, lithium, cobalt, and other critical resources for everything from our smartphones to our electric vehicles and advanced defense systems. The shocking revelation? Much of the processing, and in some cases, the mining, of these essential minerals is controlled by geopolitical rivals. A recent congressional report highlighted that a disruption in the supply of just 4 key minerals, predominantly sourced from one specific country, could halt production in U.S. EV battery plants within 3 months. This means vital industries like renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, and defense could be crippled. We're talking about potential loss of over 1 million high-tech, high-paying jobs in the U.S. within 3 to 5 years as companies struggle to compete or produce. Imagine your community, once a hub for clean energy manufacturing, suddenly facing widespread layoffs as critical components simply vanish from the global market. This isn't a distant threat. It's an economic ticking time bomb that impacts your long-term job security and national security. Sixth, the increasingly volatile escalation in the Indo-Pacific. The tensions around Taiwan and the broader South China Sea are not just regional disputes. They are global fault lines. Classified intelligence assessments, some referenced in recent think tank reports, indicate a heightened risk of miscalculation or deliberate provocation that could lead to open conflict within the next 5 years. The consequences for Americans would be devastating. Beyond the immense human cost, a conflict in this region would sever trade routes responsible for trillions of dollars in annual commerce, directly impacting every major U.S. port. Global tech manufacturing, particularly semiconductors, would grind to a halt, plunging the world into a severe economic recession, potentially worse than 2008. Economists project a potential $3.5 trillion global economic loss in the first year alone, with the U.S. bearing a significant portion of that burden. What does this mean for you? Your retirement savings would plummet. You could see a return to a potential military draft as the nation mobilizes. This will shock you. Seventh, the burgeoning North American migration crisis. It's already happening, but the scale is about to explode. Climate change, economic collapse, and political instability across Central and South America are creating unprecedented migratory pressures. Experts at a recent UN climate summit warned that climate-induced displacement could reach over 100 million people globally by 2050, with a significant portion targeting North America. This isn't just a border issue, it's a national strain. Within the next decade, the U.S. could face an additional 5 to 10 million individuals seeking refuge or asylum, far exceeding current processing capabilities. This puts immense strain on social services, healthcare, and education systems in border states and beyond. The numbers don't lie. Managing such a crisis could divert hundreds of billions of dollars from other critical national programs, impacting infrastructure projects, education funding, and even military readiness. Imagine local schools and hospitals in your community becoming overwhelmed, straining resources and leading to increased taxes or reduced quality of life for long-time residents. Eighth, the chilling prospect of the weaponization of outer space. Space, once a peaceful frontier, is rapidly becoming the next battleground. Near-peer adversaries are developing sophisticated anti-satellite weapons capable of disrupting or destroying the constellations that underpin modern life. Leaked Pentagon documents from earlier this year confirmed growing concerns about this capability. What does this mean for Americans? GPS, which powers everything from your car navigation to financial transactions and military operations, could be severely compromised or disabled. Satellite communications, essential for global internet and cellular networks, could go dark. The timeline for impact? Immediate, global, and devastating. Imagine the stock market grinding to a halt, commercial flights grounded, and the military operating blind. The economic impact could be in the trillions as the digital economy, heavily reliant on satellite infrastructure, collapses. This will shock you. What happens next? No one is ready for. Ninth, the looming global debt crisis. Contagion. The world is drowning in debt. Many major economies are teetering on the brink of default, burdened by massive stimulus packages and unsustainable spending. If just one or two major European or Asian economies were to default on their sovereign debt, it would trigger a domino effect across the interconnected global financial system. The numbers don't lie. Recent analyses from the International Monetary Fund have indicated that a major sovereign debt crisis could wipe out 20–30% of global equity markets within months. This means your 401k, your pension fund, and your personal savings would be drastically reduced. Banks would tighten lending, leading to a severe credit crunch that chokes off investment and small business growth. We could see unemployment rates soar to double digits within 18 months, as businesses unable to secure credit are forced to lay off workers or close their doors entirely. This isn't just a financial abstract, it's a direct threat to your retirement and your livelihood. Finally, the insidious rise of illiberal democracies and authoritarian blocs. Beyond direct military or economic threats, the very fabric of the international order is fraying. Countries are increasingly rejecting democratic norms, forming new alliances based on shared authoritarian principles, and actively undermining international institutions. Reports from major intelligence agencies indicate a coordinated effort by these blocs to reshape global governance in their favor, challenging U.S. leadership and values. This isn't a single event, it's a long-term erosion. The consequence for Americans? It means a world less safe, less predictable, and less aligned with American interests. Trade agreements could be rescinded, travel restrictions could become more widespread, and increased espionage and cyber warfare could erode personal privacy and national security. This is just the beginning. The global balance of power is shifting, and with it, the very values and freedoms Americans hold dear could be increasingly challenged, impacting everything from your ability to travel freely to the security of your digital life. So, where does this leave us? We've outlined 10 converging crises, each capable of profoundly impacting your life, from the collapse of supply chains leaving shelves empty, to cyber attacks plunging your city into darkness, to a global debt crisis that devastates your savings. The cascade effect is clear. Economic instability fuels social unrest, which exacerbates political divisions, making the nation more vulnerable to external threats. The near-future America, if these trends continue unchecked, could be a place of significantly reduced purchasing power, constrained liberties, and heightened insecurity. But here's the twist. Understanding this isn't about succumbing to despair. It's about empowering yourself. While the pessimistic scenario paints a picture of unprecedented challenges, there is a cautiously optimistic path. It demands awareness, preparedness, and collective action. It requires us to demand transparency from our leaders and to understand that our individual futures are inextricably linked to these global forces. The clock is ticking. And what happens next? No one is ready for, unless we choose to be. This is not the time for complacency. This is the time for urgent, informed action. Do you believe that average Americans are truly prepared for the profound shifts heading our way? Let us know in the comments below and share this video with everyone you know. This isn't just about watching, it's about engaging. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next crucial report, where we'll explore practical steps you can take to protect yourself and your family in this rapidly changing world. Don't let yourself be caught off guard. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe.